I've always said that for big studios, the kind of buildings that make great games are old supermarkets, old bowling alleys, old movie theaters. Why? Because they offer big, expansive open spaces. Our last space in Kirkland was an old supermarket. This floor was an old bowling alley, and upstairs was an old movie theater. So we have all of our bases covered. So this is one of my favorite rooms. This is our user testing, user experience room. When we became independent, we no longer had the Microsoft labs to use, so we had to build our own, and that's what this room is.
I think that having the success that we've had in the past, the expectations are really high, but that also gives us a lot of latitude to try a lot of really cool new things.
I think this time around we were thinking about the game a lot more seriously, because for many of us, we've been in the industry for 5, 10, 15 years. How many more games do you have in you of this scope and ambition? Probably not very many.
Behold the Spandex Palace, our motion capture stage. Why don't you guys come on in?
Back when Bungie first started, it was just a bunch of young guys who dropped out of college because making games was cool and they wanted to make games.
It was just a small team in a former Catholic girls' school in south side of Chicago, and now the stakes are bigger, the lead time and the technology is so much more intense.
I give a tour to every new employee that comes here, and one of the questions I ask them is, well, why do we have 2 sets of doors? One smaller door and then the set of double doors. It's so that you can actually get a running head start out in the hallway. There's not enough space inside of the capture volume, which is really inside of these green lines here, to get a full running start before you're out of space already. So we open up the doors, guys can haul ass down as fast as possible.
There's no way we could ship this game without a much bigger team, without a bunch of new people with great ideas.
For me, it's really exciting because it feels like you're kind of at the beginning of something great. I was in film for a little over 10 years, and I was at Pixar starting with Finding Nemo and onward, and it feels like we're back at the equivalent of Toy Story. We're about to create something big and huge that no one really expects. It's going to kind of come out of nowhere and be really, really exciting.
I came from outside as a fan, just as a fan of what the studio was making. I was in all the launch lines for Halo, playing with my family, playing with my friends online, so it's surreal every morning to walk through the doors.
Welcome to Bungie's Theater. We created this theater not because we think we're awesome, but because we knew that as our team grew larger, we were going to face some really interesting communication challenges.
The collaboration process is so key at Bungie, just being able to riff off ideas that other people are having.
If you can think of something awesome, people will get behind it and people will rally, and then a week later this feature that wasn't there last week, and you see it in the next week and you're just like, oh, holy crap, how did I do that?
I think for me, the personal challenge is how do we bring on board these new people that we absolutely need to ship this game and make it great, and how do we stay true to our old ways, and how do new people and old people work together, and sometimes really old people work together to create this great new universe that we're making.
If everything feels safe and doable, we're not pushing ourselves enough. And we always want to be at that moment where we are a little terrified being able to pull it off because we push ourselves that far out.
I think if at the end of it we're all talking about what we're coming up with instead of other games that are out, I think that's the success, right? At least on the gameplay side, that's going to be the success when we're talking about new ways to do things and go through it.
Instead of Dark Souls.
I don't know if I could say the name of the game, but man, if we talk about our game like we did Dark Souls, it'll be amazing.
I walk in the door, I think this all the time. My name is on the credits of the very first Halo. I think that's awesome. I want that same for everybody else here.